Hello and welcome to episode 29 of Learn Butoh. This episode today, we are going to go over Butoh tees. It's a particular shape because often when we dance, we are quite upright. And so I have been experimenting with doing lots of my Butoh work sideways. And a good way to get that while standing is to do these tees. And so in yoga, you might be familiar. There's this tee here. But you could also go to the very side and then have the same shape. Of course, it takes abdomen strength, and so you might need some assistance at first if you don't usually do this move in yoga. Suggestion, you could use a bar and get the same effect. And so this is the shape that we're going to base an entire episode on. And we're just going to do like 2 or 3 qualias of this shape. Ones that I always do. I like to do water. I like to do water anything when exploring because it's very gentle and you start feeling flow without your entire body. For me, you start getting a little bit more awareness of little finite places that you never thought you could be aware of because it's just picturing this metaphor of the water going through everywhere. And so let's start with water qualia of the tee. So, you can have a little slight bend in your knee. I would actually recommend so. I would never really lock your knee completely for anything, really, not even walking. But anyway, you can start feeling the water within your entire body. It flowing everywhere, not missing a spot. You're completely taken over by water. And you know what? It doesn't really matter if you lose balance. That's actually probably good. Let's try to lose balance. Because you lose balance, you will have to compensate. And there is a little bit of knowledge you can gain, little body intelligence you can gain from not being too balanced. So of course, we're doing both the front way and the side way water. Of course, everything can be done with assistance. And so that's that. So once we do a bit of that, another qualia I like is to picture yourself perhaps a completely surrendered individual floating down a stream. Either completely surrendered or dead, like a dead corpse floating down the stream. And do that with the tee. What would that feel like? What would that be like if you're completely surrendered? Basically, paradoxically, you're relaxed here. And the water is just taking you. Where you go, nobody knows. So the next quality we're going to do is a type of expansion contraction. You could like to imagine ropes pulling you apart, they're attempting to pull you apart, and perhaps they just break or they just loosen, and then you start contracting, shriveling up as if those ropes took all of your energy completely and you're just going into a little dead ball. And so let's try that. Ropes at arms and legs pulling you apart, stretching you out. You can feel even perhaps your spine is stretching out. And then all of a sudden or gradually the ropes either slip off or just break off. And you begin contracting. You begin contracting and shriveling and shriveling. How much can you shrivel? How much can you shrivel? And then how much can you go? And then perhaps like a balloon, go back out. Go back out onto your tee. Go back out. Two ropes on the arms and on the legs, stretching you out. They're going to pull your limbs apart, and they snap, and you contract, and you contract, and you contract into a standing fetal position. How much can you shrivel? And balloon. And also, don't forget to work with your levels. You could easily go down. Well, this takes work. I mean, it's basically like a squatting, but you can work with your levels. You can get better at it as you go, you know. It's just overall amazing strength for your body. So I would practice these tees almost every day. And then just recently, I have been doing it every day because of the range of motion you get. I mean, just imagine everything is upright that you see. And when you add this side movement, you have so much to play with, you know? You have so much to play with. You don't even need to be completely sideways. Even if it's just here, that's a lot to play with, you know? This whole other angle that we're not even using. And you can even go further, you know? I feel there's just limitless possibilities with this angle. So yeah, I've been every day holding this